Hello, welcome to Beth Roars, where we look at your favourite singers to find out what makes them them. Before we start, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. My handle is @BethRoars, and I hold loads of votes on my Instagram so you guys can vote on who I react to. Also, please do check out my website, bethroars.com, where you can book a singing lesson from me. And last but not least, head over to my Patreon, which is patreon.com/BethRoars, where you can get some more exclusive content and you can help out an underprivileged artist. I've set up a scholarship fund for the Sing Space. All the info is on there. But this one is an Instagram winner, an Instagram vote winner. And it also was a request from one of my patrons, so it's good. It's a good match. But it's really interesting because this guy from Avenged Sevenfold, I think his name's M.Shadows, is his singing name. But he has dealt with loads of vocal issues. Now, this is before the vocal issues sort of appeared, and he did have a cyst on his vocal cord, which normally, it's one of the less common things rather than a nodule or a polyp, and they can just happen because of a blockage in one of the mucus ducts, which sounds a bit gross. It might not be from overuse. Well, we'll talk about it as it goes along because it's quite interesting.
So this next song I want to send out to all the men and women in uniform that are protecting this country, protecting our rights. This one's called Gunslinger. Goes out to all of them. We pray they come home safely.
That's nice. You can hear a little bit of breath in his tone, which might mean a little bit of space between the vocal cords, so it might have started early on. Also, it can be a birth thing. It might have always been there. I don't obviously know his specific issues. Lovely warm baritone voice. I love how he's going around these vowels. Wow.
But with all that we've been through, after all this time, I'm coming home to you.
Interesting. I listened to this very quickly without my earphones on and couldn't really hear anything, but actually, the same with his speaking voice, there's a little bit of breath coming through, just the tiniest amount. And if you have that, honestly, don't panic. It's not a big deal. But that shows that maybe his chords aren't coming together already fully. So often you hear this, notes are split up into many notes. A note isn't just one note, it's made of many. And sometimes you just hear if one of those harmonics isn't there, there's just this kind of dullness to the sound. And there's a lot that sound there, but there's just a slight kind of sheen to the sound that I can hear. Now, it's the smallest detail, and if I didn't know, I might not even notice. To be honest, I think it's because I'm listening out for it. I wanted to talk a little bit about how these come about. As I said, sometimes it just happens. Sometimes it is because you've had a big trauma, and I know he had surgery after a really long tour, so it could have been that he had some sort of issue and then it's healed and then the cyst has happened as it's repaired. This is often what does happen. So you still really, really must look after your voice, and as we go through we can talk a little bit more about how you can do that and what he's doing here, because this is before that and I know that he's changed his technique a lot. And also he's a baritone and sings really high notes. Anyway, I'll continue and I'll talk about this. He's got great style though, I like it. It actually sounds fine here. There's just one phrase. Just on these higher notes there. And then better. I like his big open vowels. He seems to be singing fairly healthily here. There's nothing that really stands out. And as I said, the only thing in hindsight you can kind of notice ever so slightly a bit of extra breath, but loads of people have that and don't have any issues. So it really isn't a massive thing. However, if you are using your voice this much with extreme effects, now he goes up into the tenor range of his voice. He goes really high, and he is a baritone, and he has worked on that. But if you use your voice this much, then it is just hard. It's like running marathons every single day. You do get tired. So it's super, super important to look after your voice and drink plenty of water. And I know a lot of these bands have this rock star lifestyle, and it's drinking and it's smoking and things like that, which can make things a lot worse for you if you have vocal issues. And he worked with a vocal coach called Ron Anderson, who is meant to be a fantastic vocal coach after his issues and really worked them through. But after you've had an issue like this, it can come back again. It can reoccur, or it's a little bit more likely.
'Cause with all these things we do, after all this time I'm coming home.
And then he's got these distortions on as well. I mean, that sounds wicked. It actually, sounds healthy-ish. Like, as healthy as distortion sounds. It doesn't sound like there's really a problem. Which maybe at this point. I love his vowels here as well. He's going to, I've said it before, the mother vowel, the ow. See, that is really distorted, but... And high. What even it was, I didn't... He sounds wicked. The thing with everyone is if you're doing extreme effects, if you're at the extremes of your range, he's doing both of those things. It is just tiring for your voice. And I've read interviews where he says he practices for 2 hours every day, which is great. He's obviously a super hard worker, but you have to give yourself a little bit of a rest. And interviews afterwards, he now is saying that he really is looking after his voice, he's looking after his health, and he looks like a healthy guy as well. It's just really important for everyone. If you feel like something is going wrong, then you have to rest and don't push through. And there's so much pressure when you're in this situation and you might have to cancel the show. But if you don't do that early on, or you don't look after your voice early on, then that's when you get big issues and you really do have to cancel long sets of shows, months, or have to get surgery, and no one wants to go through anything as horrible and invasive as that. Okay, so he said that after, I'm just having a look online while I'm watching this, that he also really had more problems with his clean singing after his surgery than he did with his distortion, which is really normal because clean singing requires really even vibration of the vocal cords and it must be nice and together, and if one's a bit more swollen or if anything's a bit out of sync, then often it's easier to get that kind of distorted sound, actually, because if it's a bit uneven. So people kind of think, oh, he's not going to be able to do distortions anymore. However, he does say that he uses them more wisely. Where does he say it? Maybe that's me. I'm definitely paraphrasing. But okay, yes. So it says here that he did look at his distortions and he doesn't put quite so many on like he used to in this video, which does sound wicked, but he's just really looking after his voice and he's working really, really hard and taking shows off when he needs to, because that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. That's so interesting. He is obviously an incredible, hard-working singer with really good technique at this point, and anything that may have pointed towards what was to come is so minimal that without like really focusing in, and it may not even be the cause. It may not have even been showing at that point. It may just be like a little bit of breath that he decided to put in. So it's just so interesting to see that even people that sound that strong can have vocal issues, and it may have been just because it happened to him. It may have been because he was using his voice so much, but the most important thing is that when you guys are singing, that you really look after your voice, that you do all the boring healthy things and drink loads of water and sleep and don't get too stressed, and if your voice gets sore, rest. It's so important. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.